Today I'm going to be talking about what I believe are the best Nordic benches on the market currently. The reason I'm making this video is because there's some really exciting brand new products on the market that have completely revolutionized the Nordic bench, Nordic hamstring curl bench industry. So up until very recently, the cheapest Nordic bench on the market was $600, which is the Rogue floor glute machine, and there's a whole host of other Nordic benches that cost well over $1,000. But recently we've been very spoiled. We've had two brand new products come onto the market that are significantly cheaper than the Rogue bench, and they work extremely well. So we're going to be primarily looking at those two benches today, but we'll also have a look at the Rogue bench as well as some of the other ones. So the first Nordic bench we're going to look at is what I believe is the best value Nordic bench on the market currently, the Nordic weight bench from the Tib Bar guy. This thing is going to completely revolutionize Nordic weight, Nordic hamstring curl training. So essentially what it is, it's just an adjustable weight bench, but what this does, they've put an attachment on the back of it which allows you to do Nordic hamstring curls, but because it's an adjustable weight bench, you've got the what would normally be the backrest of the bench. You're using that now as chest support. So what this does is, depending on what level you're at with your Nordics, you can adjust the weight bench to give you more chest support or less chest support. And this is the perfect way to work on Nordic regressions. The vast majority of athletes cannot do a full Nordic, and so most of us are going to be working through some level of Nordic progression. The TBG weight bench is the best way to develop your Nordic, to get into that full Nordic. There's no easier way to do Nordic hamstring curl regressions than by using the TBG Nordic weight bench. You know, in the past you used to have to use all sorts of padding and different boxes and like resistance bands just to get some sort of a regression going. But now with the Nordic weight bench, it's super simple. All you do is adjust it to where you need it and you just do your reps. Okay, it is so easy to use. I haven't personally tested it yet, but it is on the way, so I will be doing a full video review of that once I get it. I'll leave a link in the description or put a link in the card to that video once it's up. But yeah, this thing is, I think, going to completely revolutionize how people work through their Nordic regressions to get to the full Nordic. The other really awesome thing about it is its price tag. At the time of writing, this thing is only $240, okay, which is really affordable, especially when you compare that to the Rogue floor glute machine, which is, you know, the Rogue Nordic bench. That's $600, and that used to be the cheapest one until the Nordic weight bench came along. So that is ridiculously affordable, and you can't do this sort of regression with a Rogue floor glute machine. You just can't do it. So not only is it way cheaper than the Rogue machine, it is way better if you're working through progressions. We do have a 10% discount code for TBG as well, so make sure you use the coupon code JUMPSTRONGER if you want to get 10% off your Nordic weight bench. I will leave an affiliate link in the description. Let's move on to the second Nordic bench, which is brand new product from Freak Athlete Essentials. It's called the Nordic Mini Bench. At the time of recording, you're looking at $250 for this one as well, so $10 more expensive. But essentially what this thing is it's very similar to the Rogue Nordic bench, except this thing is way smaller. It's way more compact. The footprint of this thing is a lot smaller. You know, Nordic benches, they don't seem like a whole lot, but they're actually really long and big, bulky benches, okay, much bigger than a regular weight bench. This is a super efficient design. They've made this thing to be as big as it needs to be for you to do any sort of Nordic work. So it's much smaller than the Rogue machine, or the Rogue bench rather, which allows us to keep the price down, obviously, when manufacturing this thing. Freak Athlete Essentials makes products that are really extremely well tested, and this thing is about as ergonomic as it gets. Okay, they have a really nice foot plate on the back of it, which allows you to really lock your ankles in behind the ankle pads there and get a really strong contraction on the hamstrings. And essentially you get a complete Nordic experience. The only sort of difference is you don't have the bench in front of you for chest support. So most people, what they do is when they're doing these ones, they'll just use their hands, put their hands out in front to sort of stop themselves as they catch themselves at the bottom of the movement, since most people don't have the strength to do the full Nordic. But that works really well. Since it is so small, depending on how heavy you are or how tall you are, you may need to add some weight plates on the back to act as a counterbalance. That is the only sort of negative thing I see about this. Again, you only need like one plate, like a 20 for most people, and you can do Nordics all day long on this thing. The bench itself weighs only 45 pounds. It's super portable. It has wheels on the side, so you can move it and store it wherever you need to. It's super convenient. Great for home gyms, or you can even throw this in the car and take it to the gym for a workout. We do have a pretty epic customer discount going for Freak Athlete Essentials at the moment. Up until the end of 2022, we do have a 20% discount for anything you order from Freak Athlete Essentials. You need to use the discount code JUMPSTRONGER. I'll leave a link, an affiliate link in the description for that. And with the price tag of $250, 20% off is going to save you $50. So you can get this for $200, which is insanely good value. That's a third of the price of the Rogue Nordic bench. So really good value. From 2023 onwards, that's going to go down to a 10% customer discount. So if you do want to grab one of these for Christmas, get your order in quickly. These do sell out pretty quickly as well. So head on over to Freak Athlete Essentials and make sure you use that 20% discount code to get your Nordic mini bench today. Okay, moving on to the Rogue floor glute bench. That's just Rogue's way of saying Nordic bench. This is the sort of bee's knees of Nordic benches. This is the bench you'll see Ben Patrick using in all of his videos. It is a full length, a proper Nordic bench. You can see it's much longer than the Nordic mini. This is probably the best option for anyone who can already do a full Nordic, or anyone who's getting pretty close. It is $600 though. I mean, it is way more expensive than it needs to be. And the ironic thing about that is the Rogue bench, before these other two ones came along, $600 was the cheapest Nordic bench on the market by quite a lot. There's plenty of other manufacturers that make these things, but they go for like $800-900 plus, up over $1,500, which is just absurd. Not only does Rogue make the most affordable full Nordic bench, but it's also really good quality, as all Rogue stuff generally is. So if you'd like a full length proper Nordic bench, and you like to have good quality kit, the Rogue floor glute bench is definitely the best Nordic bench on the market. Again, probably for more advanced athletes that can already do full Nordics. Most people working their way through regressions, again, you're just going to benefit so much from using the TBG Nordic weight bench until you get to that sort of mastery of the Nordic hamstring curl. And then maybe, if you're already at that level, think about the Rogue floor glute bench. But honestly, I would just pick either the TBG bench or the Fay bench, because they do effectively the same thing. They do it pretty well. Not quite as well as the Rogue bench, but well enough. And you pay less than half the price. So it's pretty tough to argue with that. I also wanted to have a look at a couple of attachments that you can use as well. So Tid Bar Guy also has something they call the Easy Nord, which is essentially just kind of the proprietary part of their Nordic weight bench. And all it is an attachment you can put on any adjustable weight bench at the gym. Takes a couple seconds to strap on, and essentially it just transforms any weight bench into a Nordic weight bench. Very cool device, very comfortable on your ankles compared to using something like a Nordic strap. And it's also way cheaper than going for a full sort of bench or Nordic bench. These things only go for $100. So you can save quite a bit of money and just use your adjustable weight bench that you already have at home or at the gym. HGG Performance also have something they call the Nordic bar. Again, you can attach this bar to any upright post, okay, so a power rack or a squat rack, and you can kind of wedge your feet underneath it to use as a Nordic. You need to use padding on your knees as well, but once you got the padding on your knees, essentially with this thing behind your heels, it's a kind of transforms. Either you can either do it on the floor or on a bench, and again, you're going to get a pretty good Nordic out of it. It is $160 though. Personally, I think it's probably not quite as good of an attachment as the Easy Nord from TBG, and it is definitely 60% more expensive. But if you don't have an adjustable weight bench, and you do have a pole or a post you can attach this thing to, it could be one of the most affordable options for you. So there you have it. Those are the 5 best options for Nordic hamstring curls or Nordic benches on the market currently. You've got the TBG Nordic weight bench, which is the absolute best thing to get if you're still working on Nordic progressions. Then you've got the Freak Athlete Essentials Nordic mini bench, which again is just a great overall option that is super affordable. I've seen people using these things on Instagram, and they are really solid, and you get some great feeling Nordics out of them. Haven't yet had a chance to test it myself, and looking to be getting my hands on one shortly. And again, I will put a video review in the description once I have had a chance to test it. And lastly, there's the Rogue floor glute bench, or the Rogue Nordic bench. This thing is the best fully fledged Nordic bench on the market. If you want a heavy duty, high quality, full Nordic bench, you cannot go past the Rogue Nordic bench. As far as attachments, there's the Easy Nord from TBG. That's my official recommendation. So that's all for now. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.